Welcome back, everybody, to the Earthboys podcast. My name is Emmy.
And I am J Down.
And today's episode 28. It's crazy.
28. 28.
Yeah, holy shit.
That's what I'm going to be this year. It's 28.
You old as fuck, motherfucker.
Bro.
Me sitting here at 29 years old. As if I'm not an ancient soul already.
And some Crocs.
In some Crocs. Hey, get the fuck out of here.
I see your little toes curling in there.
Hey, they're good, man. All right, so I have to say this off the rip because I'm going to start forgetting details, and I didn't want to start forgetting details. But basically, I had one of my top most vivid dreams, lucid dreams, I don't know what the fuck you call it, ever in my life. And I dream a lot. Even when I smoke weed, I still dream. But essentially, so this morning at 5:30, I got up and I went to my parents' house to feed the cat, let her go outside and do her business, and then come back inside. Turns out she was just asleep in the closet, didn't even want to go outside. So I was like, what a waste. So I said, I got time to kill, basically, before I have to come over and record the podcast. So I slept in the bed I haven't slept in years, essentially. And instantly, like, fall asleep without, question.
Because it's probably like actually being back in your own space.
Yeah. And it's like Home Alone, with the cats. So just instant fall asleep. And I remember waking up to hearing my parents get home. And I was like, why did you come home? And they're like, oh, because I dropped them off at the car rental place the day before, so they can go to LA, so they can take their flight to go on vacation. Well, apparently my dad fucked up, whatever, and they weren't supposed to leave for another 2 days. So they came back home, and I was like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah.
Normally that would never happen, but okay. And I was helping bring stuff into the car, and then all of a sudden, like, more cars kept pulling in, and like, people started getting out and walking into the house and going into the backyard, and they were bringing bags and like tables and chairs, and it was just like lots of people. But it wasn't like people from here. It was like people from, early 1900, no, not early, like mid 19, like 1950s, 1960s.
Dude, that's exactly what I pictured in my head right now.
Yeah, like 1950s, 1960s, like Southern, like really religious people, like the people in the Sunday dress, like Sunday best, like little kids running around with the high cut shorts and the hot knee high socks and classic attire,
Yeah.
And it was just like so many people coming into the house. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I have to go record the pod. Like, that was what my brain was focused on. And they were like, yeah, like, but just help us bring the stuff in. And I was like, but who are these people? And nobody was giving me an answer. It was just like hella fucking people. So the house is full of people. Backyard is full of people. The chairs and tables are down. They're eating. Everyone's talking, having a good time. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? So I kept trying to like push my way through the crowd, and then like people kept trying to stop me and like talking to me and thanking me for letting them into my house. And it's like, it's not my house, but you're welcome, whatever. Just get out of my way. I had to leave. Like, I had to leave now. And then, so somehow my car made it into the garage, and all these other cars were parked outside, but like, it turned into this like long drive. So there was like 20 cars and like outside and like on the lawn and shit. Like,
This started to sound like a nightmare.
Dude, and I was like, I can't get the car out. There's no way. I was like, and I was pleading, begging with these people. I was like, please, someone let me use their car. Like, some kids had come in on like somehow like quads. Like they came in on quads. Like some like ruffians were like standing outside smoking like old cigarettes and shit.
Yeah.
And they had like
rolled cigarettes.
They had like they had like leather jackets, and like the leader of the gang had like the black leather jacket and like the nice like slick combed hair. And I was like, look, bro, I'm getting fucked over here. First of all, what are all these people? And they're like, oh, we've come before our Sunday service or whatever. And I was like, but why here? And he's like, well, your parents, they let us in. They gave us permission to hang out for a couple hours. I was like,
insane.
Couple hours? Like, I have to leave now. What the fuck? And he's like, well, if the Lord wills it, the Lord wills it. And I was like, okay, man, well, if you're willing I'll take your ATV and I'll leave right the fuck now. He goes, no can do, bucko.
No.
And I was like, oh fuck. And then all of a sudden, like, it started like it started getting cloudy, dark, like it was gonna start raining, but it just wasn't raining. And I was like, fuck. I was walking amongst the cars, like up and down the rows, and like people were just sitting on the cars talking, and like the house was still full of
Were
people.
these cars like the old cars, or were
Yeah,
they
like old, you know, 50s, 60s cars.
Okay.
And then for some reason, some of the, like, I would look back at the cars and they would change like from every decade. So it was like 80s cars and then 90s cars, and then people started coming back out of the house, and it's like, oh fuck, finally they're gonna leave. And then they all started, like, all of a sudden there was like the driveway got short, so instead of like 20 cars there was only like 8 cars. And then people started putting their lawn chairs out like in rows of 8 facing all towards the mountains.
Okay.
And then so everyone was like sitting down, whatever. There's no one there's people leaving the house, but they're blocking the driveway. They're sitting in the street on these chairs, and I still can't leave. And then so I'm like, fuck, what do I do? God damn it. And then I get pulled by these people. This woman is like our age or something like that. She's, like, very beautiful. She pulls me aside, like, you know, by the shoulder of the shirt. She's like, come on. Like, with a southern accent.
No.
And I was like, you know, like,
I'm like, yes, ma'am.
I was like, whisked along, you know, and there's like kids running along our feet and stuff, like, you know, like playing around. And then finally I sat down, and this guy was like giving a sermon or something. It's like they were all at church, you know, like paying attention. And then I was like, I kept turning around at other people. I was like, the fuck? And then, you know, we were sitting there, and then the old southern girl, she like put her hand on my leg like this, like, and I looked over, she was like, pay attention, you know. And I was like, oh shit.
It was scary, dog.
And then all of a sudden, so I was like paying attention, and then all of us, like maybe like 100 people, right? So rows of 8, 9, 10, I don't know what the fuck, but it was like 100 people, it looked like. And we all started like coasting like we were on a roller coaster, and this preacher guy's like at the front, you know. And I was like, okay, all right, dude, I have to get off this fucking ride. And I look around me, and I was like, do you guys feel it too? Like, just on some random shit. I was like, you guys feel it too? And they're like, yeah, we feel it. And I said, don't you think that's the Lord, like, coming up inside of you and like telling you all that I need to leave? And they're like, wow, yeah, we all feel it inside of us. And I was like, all right then, well, you gotta let me leave. You gotta, you know, let me get off this thing.
Get
like,
out of here.
and like the preacher stopped, and everyone like stopped to turn to look at me, and like I don't even remember what I was spitting, but I was spitting some crazy shit, and they were all like, yeah, like they were getting more excited, and the ride was starting to get faster. I was like, dude, I need to get the fuck off this thing right now. And so finally, like, the ground opened from underneath me, and like somebody from the crowd put their hand out like to my chest, and I just like fell back. And I like fell back down to earth, landed. I started running back to the house. I don't even know how much time has passed at this point.
Yeah, because dreams, you never know how
Dreams
long
are
they
crazy, yeah. So I'm like, fuck, all right, this is my chance. And I run back, and I like get to the house, and it's just like, it turned into like one of those TJ Junker's house with like junker cars like all blocking the house.
Oh, God.
And so like I still couldn't get to my car. And I get into the garage. My dad has 2 cars up on like jacks. I'm like, how the fuck does this fit in here?
Yeah.
And he's got like one old shitty Corvette, an old shitty dusty Porsche with like half covered with like a car cover on it, you know. Like, these 2 were clearly the ones he was building, and then the other ones were all like mostly stripped.
Yeah.
And then my car was like in the back corner, pristine as fuck, like it had just been washed, and like my dad was taking care of it, whatever, but I still couldn't get it out.
Yeah.
So I was like, fuck, I need to go record the podcast. And then finally, like, my dad comes out like all greasy, dirty as fuck. And he's like, what do you mean you're leaving? I was like, what? He's like, you have to help me stay in. Like, you have to stay and help me work on these cars. Like, unless you help me, you fix them up first and we can move them, then you can leave. I was like, and I turn around, it's like, there's 6 more cars here. What? Like, there's no way I'm fixing them in time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, he said, okay, well, if you start walking, maybe you'll get there. I was like, oh, fuck me. And so finally, I was like, fuck it, dude. There's no way. And it starts raining. And so I started walking to your house, you know, walking up, you know, where the park is and the street light is.
Yeah.
So I not the way where the pool house is, but the other way that I sometimes take on the other side of my parents' house. So I started walking up the hill, and it started raining, and then I noticed behind me there was like hella frogs like hopping after me.
Jesus.
And then eventually I got to the top of the hill, and I was like exhausted, and I felt like I was sweating, you know, like I was getting wet from the fucking rain, and all these frogs
Cold
were
outside, hot inside.
yeah, and
Ew.
like all these frogs were catching up to me and like standing around me, hopping around, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then I started feeling weak, like I was gonna fall to my knees, and I like started to fall forward, and that sensation of falling like woke me up in bed, like in reality.
Yeah, where you fall forward, but you wake up back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like realized that I had too many covers on me, so I was like drenched, dude, like drenched in sweat. My legs, my chest, like everything, my neck. And then, but I woke up and like I sat up in bed in real life. I could hear the cat purring in the closet. I like silence in the house, and I could feel that I was the only one in the house.
Dude, I hate the feeling when like you're sweating like in bed. That kills me.
Dude, and so I woke up and was like, oh.
I gotta go record the
Dude,
pod.
and I like looked at the clock, and it was right as I texted you, have to clean up, have to feed the cat. And I had to feed the cat, and I hadn't fed her yet.
Yeah.
So that was my dream.
Jesus.
Super, like it was the
You know what it is?
it
It's
was
probably
like
'cause you're
super
still in,
vivid.
like REM sleep. That's why. Because you knew you weren't gonna sleep. You know.
Yeah.
So you're still in like shallow, where like your brain has like the one little like reactor on.
Ah, dude, I don't know what it was, but it was like, it felt more real than like any dream I've had like in recent memory. Like it felt like I could feel the dust.
Have you been smoking recently or no?
No,
Or
less.
much less.
Much less.
How many times a week?
Maybe 5 to 6 times a week. Like one little snapper's worth.
Oh, I was gonna say, holy shit! Everybody's like, oh yeah, he's looking. That's 5, 6
No,
times
dude,
a week.
no. I used to take literally like 10, 12 dabs before going to bed. You know,
Well, shit for what?
when we were playing Xbox and shit.
Yeah. But like, how long does like a snapper last? Like for the people that don't smoke weed, because I'm sure.
So like
I'm sure a lot of people don't.
because okay, well, let me back up a little bit. Before I took a break or, you know, cut back significantly, it was like I'd wake up, take about 2 dabs before work, nap it off, go to work, come back. We'd get on Xbox, and when we're playing and shit, anywhere from 8 to 12 dabs. Like,
Okay.
Stoned as fuck, like off my gourd, everything.
Stoned out of your jimmies.
Yeah, off my jimmies, bro, everything. And so I significantly cut back when my now wife, you know, moved in.
Yeah.
So I was like, I didn't want to be, you know, fucking stoned around her all the time and like out of my brain, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was only you know, some nights I wouldn't even smoke at all and I'd just go to sleep. But when I do smoke now, it's just like a pinch, like a small little pinch you get from the grinder, you know. So it's like maybe a third of a bowl's worth of like a normal sized glass pipe that you smoke weed out of. Just a little pinch, like you just pack it down and it's like a little ball in the hole.
Yeah.
You snap it real quick and you're done. So like that's been getting me pretty lit because I've cut back now.
Yeah.
But I hit one of those last night, so I don't know. You know, I woke up
I
at
hear
5:30.
smoking weed gets rid of people's dreams. No.
Yeah. I still dream on weed. Like, I'll dream on any substance.
Yeah.
Mushrooms, acid, weed, Adderall, like, all the stuff I've taken, beans, whatever. Like, I've dreamt no matter what. They've been kind of muted dreams, but not as detailed. But since I've cut back, I've been having, you know, pretty more detailed dreams. And, like, I wake up and remember certain details more than I had in the past. But this one was just, like, it felt so
Yeah, it's weird when things are
real,
super
dude.
detailed and you're like, this can't be like a dream because it's so detailed.
Yes, dude. And it was like I could smell the oils from the car. I could smell people's perfume, like when they were entering the house. Like I could hear the laughter of individual. It wasn't the same repeated laughter. It was like different styles of laughter from each kid. All the people I talked to had different voices. Some had Southern accents. Some had like no accent, you know, at least us. And like the girl that pulled me out the house, like I remember the perfume.
Hey, tell me more about her, the Southern girl.
I don't even. She was like that Southern Belle type, you know, like I don't know how to describe it. Like the one that's like the only like beautiful person in the family, essentially.
Yeah.
You know
like
what I mean?
Like the whole trope where like the farmers
she was
had the really pretty daughter.
Always, and she was like surrounded by like what were her brothers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were nice. Like, it wasn't anything like weird or sexual or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was just she was just pleading for me to come along with them.
Now,
You know what
quick
I mean?
question: did you get her number from me or no?
No, dude, I did not.
Oh, you fuck.
I was too in the dream and pissed that I was missing the podcast
Selfish of
time,
you, bro.
Dude,
Selfish
I'm sorry,
of you.
bro.
No, I'm just-
Like, I wasn't thinking about getting you tail, but yeah, it was so real. Like, you know, I ran my finger across, you know, one of the cars in the garage and like felt the dust pile up on my finger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, smelling the oils of the car, and then like I could smell the rain and like hear the frogs like running after me, like doing all their noises and shit. And then, yeah, I don't know. It was just really frustrating because I just wanted to record the podcast like so bad, but I could not fucking leave.
Sounds like that's honestly what it feels like, having an anxiety attack when you're trying to get to somewhere or do something, but like every little thing is like in your way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't like, and I wasn't scared or anxious. It was just like irritating.
Yes.
You know
It's
what I
just
mean? It was
irritating.
like, what the fuck is even going on? Like, I'm trying all these ways to get out, and it's not working. I was more so pissed than anything, but it was very intriguing to like, I don't know, my mind kept reworking the size of the house and then the size of the lawn, and you know, at one point the palm trees were gone and it was just like cars parked on the grass and shit, and I don't even know, man. Like,
Sounds like an AI generated dream.
but it didn't feel like that shiny weird, like,
Yeah,
you know, where shapes don't make
over-polished.
where shapes don't make sense. It was like as if I was talking to you and me, like this level of detail right here in real life.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess my brain switched to another dimension where I was existing, and I don't know. I guess I'm lucky I found my way back. But dude, I had to tell you. I like wrote it in my phone even just in case I
Jesus.
forgot. You know.
I had a dream last night, but it wasn't as crazy as yours.
I had a dream.
I was like, oh no. I was in a like a massive stadium with people I knew, but I don't remember like exactly who. Like, I couldn't tell you specifics who.
Uh-huh.
But for some reason, it was like I had skates on, like back when I'd play hockey.
Oh, okay.
Like rollerblades, you know? Like,
Yeah.
Not rollerblades, because that sounds like the fucking things.
The roller skates.
Roller skates, not rollerblades. Rollerblades is what people like wear outside.
Yeah.
You know, and roller skates, like you're on like either wood that's made for
Oh,
skating
yeah,
on,
yeah, yeah.
or like the sport court type
Uh-huh.
thing. And I had it on, and I was like, all right, well, we had to head somewhere. I felt like it was almost like the same vibe as like a graduation where everyone's going to the one central area, but
Gotcha.
it wasn't a graduation.
Yeah.
And so I was just like skating through, and this fucking stadium just went on forever.
What?
Essentially. But it was like there was other hockey games going on, but they were like modified versions of hockey, which I was like, this is kind of odd. Okay,
Mhm.
that's weird. And I had people with me, like, to the extent of like knowing them as if like kind of like coworkers, you know, where like
Yeah.
you chill with them, but you're not like besties with them, you know.
Yeah, you
Besties.
surface level like acquaintances.
Yeah, but you kind of like certain aspects about them.
Okay.
And we were just moving because we were all trying to get somewhere central. Then I got stopped by like a security guard, and like I had to sit there and talk to him a little bit, and he ended up letting me go. I don't know why he even stopped me, but like,
Yeah.
we were chill. It wasn't even like a, okay, I gotta lie to him and get out of here.
Like you were
It was
doing
just like-
something bad.
Yeah, it was just like, oh yeah, no, this, that, and the other. Yeah,
Interesting.
this, and then we just kept moving.
Damn,
And
dude.
I honestly don't remember the rest of the dream, but I know it was like that nice golden hour.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like intimidating, but it felt like we were somewhere in like the 80s or 70s.
Interesting.
That type of like golden hour with like
Right.
the big concrete crude structures,
Oh, okay.
you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird, and I saw people that I had known
Whoa.
that I like used to be friends with, you know, or like
Uh-huh.
X, Y, and Z, and just passing through. I'm going, oh, cool.
Interesting.
But no one really was like, oh, hey, you know.
Like-
it was just like everybody like scan each other and like keep going.
Uh-huh.
It's really weird.
Wow, dude.
But obviously mine wasn't as crazy as yours.
A never-ending arena of weird hockey.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It was weird.
That's such a like random thing too.
But also, it wasn't really too bad because like walking it would have been driving me nuts. But the fact is, you're on like roller skates.
So
like,
you're like zooming kind
like
of.
you can get like a good like speed with roller skates.
Yeah.
Where you get like a good like 10 miles an hour on like, and it's like, you know that cement that's really like smooth,
Oh yeah, yeah.
like
Costco cement.
like Costco cement.
yeah.
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 So it's like you were just able to glide through. So it was all good. I made it out.
Yeah.
But like if I was walking, it would have pissed me off.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
God damn, yeah, dude. I have to keep reminding myself that I'm not dreaming since I woke up. Be like, yeah, I'm in the real world right now. It felt so real. the smells, the sounds.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Honestly, I like dreams though. Gives you something to think about when you wake up.
Yeah, dude, some dreams are good, and then, you know, most dreams, it's like I remember the surface level details, and then it goes away after like an hour or two. But for some reason, man, this one, like, the one that I had just rocked me to my core.
Yeah, honestly, it's one of those things where I think it's kind of more so during like 2020. I got good at like, not got good at dreaming, but like able to realize when you are dreaming or like when you should just let it just ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless it's something like when I have like nightmares or like bad dreams or overly stressful dreams, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. There's no way this could be real. And then
Yeah.
I usually wake up.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
I
that's
think
usually the trigger for most people. It's realizing it's a dream, and then you wake up.
Yeah.
Right.
Like for me, it's easy though. Like I know that I can let it ride or not. You know, sometimes I know I'm dreaming and I just let it ride.
Yeah.
But I mean, that's a good thing because it's like some people get stuck in the nightmares. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
yeah.
some people are having the nightmares and they just let it run for the runtime. Me, like
Which
I
is insane.
literally just like I stop moving in the dream and go, wait a minute.
Wait a second.
There's no way it could be this bad.
And then, bam,
And then bam, you're awake.
you switch it off. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't. I wasn't. I like. I knew that it was most likely a dream, but I was so focused on
Just the one objective.
on the objective that the dream didn't stop. You know, and I was like locked in on that goal of coming to record the podcast, but
Yeah.
in the dream, you know. So like, it didn't end until finally I like was running up the hill and was like, I'm gonna pass out. And when I started to pass out, it was like that falling sensation. That's what ultimately snapped me out of it.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, because I felt the like the water, you know, like seeping into my shirt, and like normally I don't feel stuff unless I'm physically touching something.
Yeah.
And so like feeling the water was like, that's weird. And then I was like passing out, and then that, you know, that feeling of falling usually wakes like most people up. So that was the trigger for me. But holy shit, man! Like when I woke up, like I had to make sure I was like still not dreaming. I was like,
Oh, fuck, not again.
it's like last week I had a dream where it was like 5 layers deep, you know, and I had to like remember how to get out in order to wake up. Like I couldn't just, like I was telling myself wake up, and I couldn't. I had to like go through the maze of dreams to wait to like get to that level where I was at the surface enough for me to break through.
Yeah, fuck that.
And that was like,
that one sounds stressful.
dude, it was, because it was like, it was first it was like an Apex Legends dream. Like I was with you, and I don't remember the other person, but I know you were there. And we were on Kings Canyon, and we went to like the bunker, and there was like, we got to the bottom of the stairs, right? You know, you go into bunker, it's like top, and then you go down.
Yeah.
And the first door on the left is like a small room. There's 2 small rooms on the left side, and then the room you can
like
walk
little
through.
hallway rooms.
Yeah. So the first door, there was like it wasn't a door or a room, it was like an elevator. And I remember going into the elevator and going down 1 floor and getting out, and then it being like a Jurassic Park type dream. And I like wandered through the Jurassic Park dream and found like an old like cement, like it was like it looked like a rectangular cement like shack with a door on it, and then more stairs going down.
Ew.
And I went down into those stairs. Those were some long ass fucking stairs. They would turn and then go down more and then go in opposite directions. And then I ended up in like this weird city where there was like buildings coming from like the ceiling, and then buildings coming from like city buildings, skyscrapers coming from the ceiling and then from the ground. And if you thought about it, then you could flip which direction was up and then land on the opposite, so you could walk on the ceiling.
Ew, bro.
And the third one, that was the hardest one to get out of, because I couldn't remember if I was like up or down to get back to that staircase. And then it was like I'd go into a room and it'd be like a whole new like map area like unlocked. So imagine like I went down to the fifth level basically.
Yeah.
And it was like glitchy because my brain was trying to like add the layers on top of the layers. And so I was like, then I realized like, oh, I'm like, now I'm going too deep. Like I need to go back now. And so that was the point where I was like trying to get out of the dream.
Yeah,
and I got lost for a while because I was asking people how to get out, and they're like, well, what do you mean get out? Get out of what? Like,
yeah,
we're here. This is where we live. Like, why would we want to leave, you know? So nobody was helping me. And then finally I found like somebody who gave me a hint of like, oh, you know, go that way. And I was like, okay, well, this direction's better than no direction.
Yeah.
And so eventually then when I got back to like the Jurassic Park area, I was like, okay, now I kind of know how to get out, but I have to not let things eat me. So I had that like in my brain, like make sure I don't get killed by velociraptors or a T-Rex
Bro
or some
wakes it
shit.
out and then the thing just runs by.
Yeah, dude. And so like I seen the door, ran back up, and then once I got back to Kings Canyon, it was like, okay, now I have to like figure out how to wake myself up from this. So I ended up realizing I could take the balloon. And I took the balloon and jumped off the balloon, and that feeling of falling off the balloon, like instead of flying, like you jump off halfway through.
Yeah.
So like I jumped off halfway through, let go of the thing, and then like that feeling of falling, like right before I hit the ground, I woke up.
Sick. Yeah, fuck that.
But that was crazy. It was like like a quintuple inception on some shit. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck, dude. Smoking less weed, bro, like it just opened my brain.
Jesus.
Yeah. So I've been like it's just weird dreams recently, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Really weird dreams.
Are you more creative in a sense now that you're smoking less weed, or because obviously it's opening something up in your brain?
Yeah.
And I know all the very specific weed smokers, if they are here and listening to this pod, no, I'm way more creative on weed. It's like, all right, shut up.
It's like a different type of creative. I'm like tapping into a different energy, if that makes sense. Like because with weed, like it puts me on a specific like vibration mentally, and so I get like really unique ideas from being in that state of mind. But being sober mostly when I'm creating now, like I don't know, it like instead of it being like vibrational energy that I'm like channeling into my brain to like into my mind's eye to make something physically, now it feels like a flower is like unfurling like on top of my mind's eye, and it's like absorbing creative thoughts, and then I'm channeling those through my body to like make stuff, if that makes any sense. So like instead of my brain's an antenna, right? It's like sucking in waves of creativity. Instead of it being like radio waves like being radiated at my brain, it's like a flower that's like sucking in sunlight. That's like creative. That's like creative energy. But I feel like that, like the smoking less is helping me have more clear and clear-cut ideas, if that makes sense. It's more like, oh, I understand what I'm trying to make versus like, oh, I'm just going with the flow of creating.
Yeah.
So
I don't know, every time I just go with the flow of creating sometimes, most times I just don't like what I come to or what I've thought out.
Yeah. I think that's the reason why, like, when I was smoking and making stuff, it was like most of it just got put in the safe. Like I would post stuff, obviously, like
things get shelved, basically.
Things get shelved more. So like now that I have like a clearer direction these days, I've been more just like, oh, okay, that's pretty like 99% what I wanted.
Yeah.
And I'm more satisfied with the outcomes of that. So.
Yeah, no, I feel you on that. It would also help to be like surrounded by more creatives of like the brand that you would want to,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. But also, I guess I like to like, for the most part, I have like specific ideas that I do want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which like, to me, I look at it as just like a mission.
Right.
And if I can finish that mission at some point, then like that's cool. But like also just going with it is also fun sometimes as well.
Yeah, it depends really like what the idea is. You know what I mean?
Like in theory, if we went out and shot today, which I'm not saying we should or shouldn't, like it would be more so like let it flow,
Yeah.
Rather than like I have this one painted out idea specifically that I want to do. I just haven't gotten around to it just because I'm working more shifts at work and just trying to put things together financially.
You're splitting up your focus more on other things than just the one.
Even though it's gonna like slow down YouTube, obviously, which is still what I want to do, but also sometimes like you gotta slow it down a little bit to be able to farm up the extra money cushion. Meanwhile, saving,
Yeah,
to
for sure
do your thing. Is I want to shoot. I don't know if it's either on the 50 mil or the 55 mil. Or sorry, the 28 mil that I have for the Pentax. I want to shoot like golden hour at the beach on Ektar 100.
Ooh.
But specifically the beach that we go to, the La Jolla one.
Yeah.
So where you got to hike down a little bit.
Right.
And we haven't hiked down yet. Because I just want to shoot at golden hour to get more of those like warmer Southern California
like early
tones.
morning tones.
Or like late in the day. Because early morning tones are usually a little more cold. Which... we'd have to shoot it at sunset, because sunset is over the ocean, right? West.
Oh, true. Yeah. Yeah, because
So-
then it's gonna come at us over the water.
Yes, I need it to illuminate the rocks on the wall, and then maybe some of the water that's like, you know how when it washes ashore, the sand looks wet before it recedes, you know.
Yeah,
So I want to shoot that at golden hour.
that
And
would
that's
be
just one of like
that
the
would be
things,
good.
you know.
Yeah,
But obviously, you have to be out in La Jolla at some point by golden hour, you know. And I'm usually not out places like that.
Yeah, and you have to, like,
during that time.
time it right specifically like within that block of time, which is not that long
Yeah.
amount of time. Anyways,
I mean, yeah, you'd always have to get there and just hang out for a little while and then do it. But also, it's like I'm never in that part of town during that part of time, you know.
yeah,
So it's one of those things where it's like I want to do it, but it's not like pressing, but it's there. you
yeah.
know?
I feel that. I get what you mean about like having to be around creatives and stuff more, because I hadn't hung out with my friend Derek for, almost a year, because he just recently had a kid. That's my producer friend, and I had been like wanting to do some music stuff again, and he hit me up last week and he's like, come over. So I went over to his house on last Friday, and it felt good to like talk to someone who thinks the same way that I do in terms of like making stuff.
Yeah.
And so obviously with photography I have you, and then with music I have him, right?
Yeah.
So it's like being able to like switch it up and like speak to someone who can visualize the ideas that I also have. Like it's really nice. So I get what you mean about like wanting to, talk to more creatives and like get different types of input in regards to like certain ideas that you have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Like recently, I've been following a lot more like local film photographers, or even just ones that are just around the region sometimes.
Yeah.
Just sort of been replying to people, kind of not reply guying, but like, just talking to them as you would someone normal, So I'm hoping some of those relationships turn into like maybe one day I'm shooting somewhere with them or something.
Yeah, just farming
like,
different types of
not in the
engagement.
sense where I'm like clout chasing, but in the sense where I'm just like, it sounds kind of like, obviously, like if you think about it, say it out loud, it sounds weird, but it's not weird. Where it's like I'm just trying to make friends in that space.
Yeah.
It's not weird,
No, not at all.
And it's not even like the whole like clout chasey type thing, because you can't really clout chase when it comes to like
It's different when you're like
film or photography. It's not like it's I don't know, because it doesn't really equate to numbers.
It's because you're not like talking with someone with the intent of like just glazing. Like you're just trying to formulate like an actual like friendship with some of these people, which is totally normal. Like people do it all the time on social media, so it's not like a disingenuous type thing. Yeah.
Because it's not like I'm trying to get anything out of these people. Like it'd be fun to be like, because one of the San Diego guys, he's going up to Yosemite, in the 20th, somewhere like 21st or whatever.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he said, "Is anybody down?" And I was just in my head, I was like, "Wouldn't it be funny if I just said yeah, and then like told work I wasn't going to be there that week, and just hopped
went
in a car with a stranger?"
And just went.
I mean, that's kind of crazy. It's like
that is kind of crazy.
It's like an 8-hour drive plus like I don't know this person
right.
or whatever the fuck. But like, I don't see that out of the realm of possibilities once I start to make better acquaintances.
Yeah,
with these
better
people.
inroads with these people.
Yeah,
right.
And then it's harder to find people that want to be in the same. Obviously, I'm more so pushing towards film. Whereas like, I have a couple people that I've added on Instagram that are cool, but it's like their kind of pushes. Like one is like trying to be like a club photographer.
It's not
or
the
like
same
a club
vibe.
Videographer. To me, it's like sure it looks hype, but it's like that type of like vision was cool for like 2014 to like 2018.
Yeah,
which like it's just not my vibe.
right.
It's cool if I'm gonna watch you do it. Cool.
Yeah,
but also it's like I don't want to spend my time in that realm.
It's not the style of photography.
It has nothing to do what I want to do. Whereas like. Obviously, since it's going to be... is it spring now? Or is it...
Yeah, it's spring right now.
Spring to summer.
It's going to be summer soon. Next month.
In San Diego, it's summer, like 10 months out of the year, right?
Basically, yeah.
Now everyone's getting a little more active. And obviously, I've been shooting throughout all the seasons. But it's fun to see everyone out and about now again. And it's just like, damn, I want to go do shit like that.
Yeah, you want to be involved and do some creative shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel that, man. Spring and summer is like... a good time to do it, because that is when most people are active and like willing to go out on an adventure and like do something different. But I get what you mean, though. It's like certain people you see taking photos of things and you're like, that is cool in concept, but it's not something that I like would wake up and want to do.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah. So hopefully, hopefully you do continue to fortify, those friendships or whatever, and then who knows, like maybe you'll get an opportunity in the near future where they're like, hey, does anyone want to, come with us to some place that's a couple hours away that's like outside, and then they're like, yeah, you can come with us.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what it is. Because right now everyone's posting going to Yosemite. Like, I already went to Yosemite. Not saying I wouldn't go again, but it's only making me go like, damn, that'd be fun to be here than rather that I'm doing.
Yeah.
But it's always more fun to be somewhere cool like that than...
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes you just got to put the foundations in, to be able to do fun shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is cool that you get to go hang out with your... What's his name?
His name is Derek.
Derek?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy.
Because obviously, I listen to music, but I'm not like a musician or nothing close to like putting together like a beat or like a...
Yeah.
Some type of X, Y, or Z.
Yeah, I mean, I like doing that stuff because it's like technical and you work with, the programs and all that shit. Mm-hmm. But he's like on a whole nother level. Like that's literally his career.
Yeah.
It's like being a in-house producer and mixer and then mastering tracks, and he works for a label and gets paid by a label, and he like does all that stuff. So
if you were to do some type of creative outlet for actual living, what would it be?
It would be like if I had to pick like a dream scenario,
yeah,
it would be like being picked up for a label, and like because I can also do some music stuff, it's like helping with the production process, because I'm not the best at mixing and mastering by any means, that's not something that I focus on. For me, it's like helping the creatives get to the point where they're making something solid, and then like helping them record that idea that they have. So like basically think of, who Rick Rubin is?
I've heard the name.
The guy, he's like a famous dude who like sits in studios with artists and stuff and like helps them formulate ideas and like get certain concepts together to like help kind of guide them in a certain particular way if they want X, Y, and Z for their sound or vision that they have. I was thinking a role similar to that, but also doing like, hanging out with the artists when they're in the studio, taking photos, taking videos, like editing all that side shit, like the B-roll and all that stuff.
But again, the reason why I asked that is because, the guy that looks like a fucking hippie mountain man?
Yeah, that guy.
Holy shit.
Rick Rubin, yeah.
He looks like a nutcase.
Yeah, but he's fucking good at his job.
I mean, with that type of look, I bet he is.
Yeah. But that's something that I would see myself doing.
Is because I know you kind of spread yourself thin when it comes to creative projects.
Yeah.
So like that first part was convincing, but then when you said and then taking video and then editing it, you've already spread yourself out from the original plan.
Yeah. I mean,
I was just wondering what your thing would be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's just because Derek he's the one who finds me like little jobs like that. Mm-hmm. So like I've been in charge of like for his group. I've taken photos and videos for them, and they've like used them, and then I've made like cover art for them.
Yeah.
And then just the other day, he put me in a group chat with an artist that he's working with, and she has an idea for like some cover art that she wants.
Yeah.
And so we were just like talking about that, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
But I don't know. Like I enjoy the fact that he considers me and like, every now and again like gets me a job. Makes like $100-$200 or whatever. Yeah,
that's cool.
And so like doing stuff like that is something that really intrigues me,
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's not very like specific, like you said. It is. I'm still spreading myself thinner than what would be considered, something that's solid and just consistent.
I feel like that's the appeal of like New York, not so much LA anymore. It seems like because everyone's kind of more, what can this person do for me?
Mm-hmm.
In that like that LA vibe.
Yeah.
I think that's the appeal for New York, that there's always someone creative to work with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like here, I just feel like it's so few and far between, and like it's usually people that kind of just like, oh, I do this for just a small side thing. Like I personally like driven creative people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like your friend Derek seems cool.
Yeah, dude. Like he pushes to do that shit. Like. He pushes hard to just sit at home and do that stuff all day.
Yeah.
Just so he can be with his wife and his kid.
Yeah. Like, see, that shit seems fun rather than the person that's like, oh, yeah, I'll do this today, I guess. And then, like, they don't touch that specific type of, like, I guess, art form for a while,
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like put the toe in and then come back months later.
Leave it at that, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. No, he's taking the full like jump. You know what I mean? Every now and again, I get like knee deep, waist deep, but
Mhm.
then I always pull myself back out and then focus on like other shit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I just I take great inspiration from him because he, you know, had his full fat balls out, like ready to do that shit,
Mhm.
and like that's what he's decided that he wanted to do. He's been doing it for 6 years, you know.
Yeah.
So the only break he took was when his baby first arrived, and he had to get all that stuff sorted.
Yeah.
And now he's back in the fold. Like I saw his calendar, and like it's almost all booked. You
That's
know
good.
what I mean?
I mean, that's cool that he's doing that for a living too. You know.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's really, I'm happy for him because he was another person that like helped me, you know, focus in on one thing instead of like, you know, putting a lot of energy into a lot of different small things,
Yeah.
and then a lot of those small things like not coming out how I wanted them to. He's helped me, just like you, reel it in onto like focus on one thing at a time,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, I definitely understand what you mean by like wanting to talk to more creative people.
Yeah, they're hard to find.
Helps you
And
stay
then,
like focused in.
You gotta find someone that is in kind of on the same not lane as you, but like within a certain amount of degrees of you. You know.
Yeah, in
Where
terms
it's
of
like-
like mental, not capacity, but like
Vision.
in terms of vision.
Because
Yeah,
there's some people you talk to, and then like their vision is so much different than yours, where it's like cool, respectable, you know, but it's also like nothing near.
mm-hmm.
Like I had an old coworker that asked me, he's like, "Do you shoot video at all?" And I was like, "I shoot some, but like I'm not a videographer." And then he was like, "Oh, I have this project of like this like doing random dance move at random places throughout like the city and stuff like that." Dude, I was like, "Dude, that does sound cool."
But it's not anywhere
But it's
near
not
what
anywhere
you do.
near like anything I would want to spend my free time on.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm,
It was just kind of like I didn't think it was like a bad idea, but it just wasn't like something I would sink my time into
right.
to like.
The idea didn't resonate with something that you would create.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was like, what? No. That's why when people ask me, and I'm like, I don't do videography.
Yeah, it's weird that people ask you about video more than photo.
Well, think about it. It's photos. Photos not dying because photos always gonna be more. I don't want to say of an art or like whatever, but think about it. Like everybody knows like the Muhammad Ali photo. Everybody knows like the NASA photo. Like photos in history, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas like no one's really gonna go like. Remember this TikTok?
Oh yeah.
It just gets lost.
Oh, that's
into the
true.
ether, you know
That's
what I mean?
true. Yeah, yeah.
So obviously, video is the thing that's easy for like. I'm not trying to sound like an elitist, but like people that consume, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's why everyone does video now.
Yeah.
So everyone does like the whole.
I mean, and also the other thing, unfortunately, is that people know that you have cameras. So when
Yes.
people think of cameras, they think of like, oh, he does video because
Yes.
that's what a camera does, is it takes video. And then
Yes.
because they're thinking of the DSLR that's like, you know, on a rig or some shit. You know what I
Yes.
mean? And so they're like, like he has the nice camera that does video. Like, let me ask him about it. It's like, well, like this thing's are mainly for taking nice, high quality photos.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I always like helping people out.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is when people ask, this happens quite often, is they ask as if getting a nice camera is cheap or something like that, where like they ask you these questions and then you give them like the direct answers. And then like I always let them know like, hey, also I'm not in the consumer level cameras. I don't really know a whole lot about the consumer level cameras anymore.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm not in that realm.
Right.
I'm not like back when the ADD was big. If anyone's listening and they know like that era,
The
like
ADD.
2017, 2018,
Yeah.
maybe a little earlier.
Mhm.
I think when the ADD came out, I was in that era because that was like that's not the consumer camera. It's like the prosumer, where it's like a little more expensive X, Y, or Z.
That was like the next level up.
Yeah.
Or a level and a half up.
Whereas like the 5D series was above the ADD, and that was like the pro level.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And then obviously you had like the branch off of the sports level, which is the 1DX Mark II. Back in the day, it shot like fucking 20 frames a second, which was absurdly fast back then, you know?
Right.
So it's like, I don't know about those now. Like people hit me up all the time and they're like, hey, I'm looking to spend $700 on a camera. And I'm like,
Good luck.
I don't know, dude. Like,
Yeah.
like I'm not in that lower level because not that I don't want to be, I just genuinely don't know. And like, I don't know. I don't really do research on things that
That you're not into.
that I'm not above, but I'm like past it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know. And when people ask me like, "What's your budget?" and they're like 500. I'm like, use your iPhone. That's the best advice I could give you.
Yeah, at that point, yeah, use
your iPhone. You know, like, there's a reason why there's some photographers out there and videographers and all these people that get paid crazy amounts of money. Because the gear alone is expensive.
Yeah.
Not to mention you got to know how to use it.
Right.
And then you got to know how to either use like some type of editing software or like video-wise or like Lightroom.
Yeah.
You know? Like everything that
It's not just getting the technology.
Yes.
It's like there's other things that you have to know how to use to like get to that level that they're imagining in their mind, you know? But
Exactly.
But the thing with you is like at least you give it to people straight. You know, you don't give them a roundabout answer or like string them along. Like you just straight up tell them like yes or no, and here's my reason why.
Yeah.
Most of the time, you know, it seems like you're saying no with good reason because it's not something that you do. But at least you like know yourself enough to be like, yeah, that's not something that I do.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%.
It's not something that interests me. It's with it's outside my realm of interest, and it's just not, you know, it's not something that I vibe with. So why would I say yes to something that I know it's not going to come out the way I want to? It's just going to frustrate you more.
Yeah.
So there's no point, you know. But I do understand how that can be pretty annoying.
Yeah.
When they just come in with like that, oh, by chance, like this and that. It's like, okay, well, clearly you didn't really think it out. You're just kind of throwing lines out there and hoping something bites.
Yeah. I also feel like people will see a photo and be like, oh, I can just take that photo and it'll look just as good.
Try then.
It's like, I remember when I realized everything was editing, like a lot of the colors that I enjoyed seeing on photos.
Yeah.
And me personally, I don't really care for editing. I don't like it, but it's a necessary thing. And yes, I can arrive to digital photos that I do like, and I will, obviously, since I've already been in for a couple of years and I have my own presets that I've made. But again, it's one of those things where I remember when I realized, like, why do my photos look so much duller than all these other people's?
Yeah.
And this is before I was editing, you know. And then it clicked. I was like, no fucking way.
It's when it dawns on you that like that's the
next secret spice.
The next step to achieve that color or style. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was like, God damn it. But obviously, then I got good at it. You know, I remember I started actually doing like editing, like true editing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like 2020-ish.
Yeah.
And then so I figured that shit out. I'm obviously getting better at it, but yeah, that's why I like when people ask me, I'm like,
Like, oh man, you just don't get it.
very nice girl. She's cool. I met her at the baby shower.
Okay.
And she asked me like, oh, what sports camera? Like, what's a good camera for sports? I was like, well, it depends what kind of sports you're shooting. Are you shooting motorsport?
Yeah.
Are you shooting football? Are you shooting like dancing? Are you
Soccer?
shooting
What?
soccer? Are
What's
you shooting
going on?
golf? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, like sports is very vague. Like fucking pickleball's a sport.
Yeah. Dude, there's a dude who gets paid $2 million to play pickleball. Like, the fuck?
Bro, like I don't like you could probably shoot pickleball in like a 50 mil, bro. You don't got to be that far from them.
Yeah.
Like they're just in a little circle, right? And then she goes, "Oh, I think like dancing and like just normal like sports near the rec center." I was like, "Okay, well." I always tell them, "Well, I'm gonna just recommend Canon because I'm biased. That's what I shoot, you know."
Yeah.
Have I looked over at Sony things? Yeah, but I feel like the ergonomics aren't there, and they have too many shortcomings when it comes to odd, quirky things.
Right.
You know, it's like you get this, but it takes away this. You're like, why the fuck would I want that then?
Exactly.
So I was like, oh, you know, I just told her this, that, and the other. I was like, I always tell people to buy used. That's what I do. I just buy all my shit used. I'd never bought anything new. The only thing I've ever bought new was my Canon
the
80.
Fujifilm also?
Oh, and the Fuji, yeah.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
Yep.
But I mean, that's not even like a camera that you'd go like, oh, I'm gonna go shoot sports.
Shoot sports with it. No,
Yeah.
it had a very particular niche. Like,
It's literally like a point and shoot.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like a better than just a normal point and shoot.
But
shit.
that wasn't even like something where you're like, oh, I want it for sports, or like I
No.
want it for action shots or something like that. Yeah.
So I told her all these things, and
Yeah.
it got to the point where she was like, you could tell she was taking it in, but then realized like, oh fuck,
Like, it's a lot.
it's a lot.
Yeah. And I think that's what some people don't realize when it comes to getting to that next level, you know, because obviously a lot of people are like the entry level.
Yeah,
And so for them, it's like they just don't understand like
Yeah.
how like why people chose a particular camera that they've been using for a long time, or like why they choose to spend, you know, upwards of $2,000, $3,000 on gear, and like maybe $2,000 on just one thing alone. Like people who are entering that type of creative space, like they just don't understand why they can't rationalize it yet.
yeah.
So they just haven't had enough experience to understand, like, okay, yeah, the equipment for doing X, Y, and Z, once you figure out your lane, like, okay, now you can start investing into the higher tiers of that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, clearly, like, everyone goes to that, or, like, what if I need a lens for this? But now what if I need something for this? But now what if I need something for this? And now you have, like, a backpack with, like, $10,000 worth of shit, whereas, like, you're only going to use $1,500 worth of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, way to go.
Yeah, now you're carrying...
hope your credit cards aren't maxed
That's
out.
what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like, and then good luck selling it on secondary for some of those things
What
you're
we bought
getting.
it for. Like, when people show me the videos of, the nature videos of, like, you know, you see that close-up super, like, crisp shot of, like, a lion. I don't know, eating something or chilling, or, like, the bald eagle in the tree, and I'm like... That lens that dude is using, just the lens alone, is like 10 to 12 grand.
Yeah.
Same really nice lenses that the Formula One photographers use.
Mm-hmm.
Albeit the Formula One photographers are using, I think, anything in from like a 300 to like a 600 mil, something in that range.
Right.
Because obviously they need the compression to make the cars look big on screen and stuff like that. But like, it's something where like people just don't even realize. I'm like, that's a $12,000 lens.
Yeah.
That's only the lens.
Just the lens, not the body, not the whatever stuff
not
that
the
they
little
have.
monopod or tripod that he's shooting on, which is the expensive one as well. Like, this person's a professional in the field that they do it.
Yeah.
That lens alone is worth more than like your car type shit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
People don't understand that, which is it is kind of funny though.
Yeah.
Speaking of cameras, I checked the shutter count on my X106.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm already at like 1,500 shots on it, and
No way.
and I haven't had it for a long time.
Really?
Which makes me happy because I always see people trying to resell that one or the one before it, which like the other one before it's been out for like 3 years.
Yeah.
And like people will have like 500 shots on it. I'm like, why the fuck did you buy that camera?
Like, you hardly used it.
I guarantee those 500 shots were like the one time you took it out and like just test photos in your room or something.
Yeah. Dude, when I took the graduation photos, like one session was 380 photos just by itself.
That's a lot
in
of photos.
one day. Granted, I like to take more and then like cut back.
Yeah.
For the ones that I don't like.
You overshoot and then
find the good ones.
Yeah.
But I like taking my time to find the good ones. That's personal preference for me anyways.
No, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, no, that's too much for me. I think my last graduation shoot I had like 80. But I've always shot more meticulous than just like, I'm not calling yours spray and pray, but you'll see a lot of people online when they're taking photos. They have their camera in burst no matter what they're doing. And I'm like, I'm not combing through
the
that
burst.
many photos.
Well, that's like, you get to 1,000 photos like in 5 seconds. Yeah, not like that, but
like, that's fucking terrible.
Yeah, but I'm more free range with just kind of stacking them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree. But also, it's one of those things where I'm like, why are these people buying these cameras and just not using them?
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's like buying that car and not putting any miles on it. It's like, the car's meant to be driven.
Like keeping it in the garage for the sake of reselling it. Like, why would you do that? Why would you even buy it in the first place then?
Yeah.
If you know you're going to get rid of it after hardly using it. It makes no sense. Like, shouldn't you get something for the sake of, like, using the fuck out of it and then maybe deciding later down the road if you want to sell it? Like, the whole point of buying it is to have it and use it fully.
It's especially, like, evident with, like, the little like the X106. It's like, dude, this camera's meant to be a porn shot. I don't know why, like, it's a really good camera. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good camera.
Yeah.
Obviously, I shot your wedding photos on it, which came out pretty solid.
Came out solid as fuck.
You know? And think about it, I've only had the lens. How long have I had the camera?
2 months.
Has it been 2 months now?
Just about 2 months.
Yeah. I even did the math. I was like, dude, it's already saved me almost $800. And like, if you took amount of shots that I did, and obviously that replaced film.
And developed those shots that you took. Yeah.
I've almost, if we're going shot for shot, probably in the next 2 weeks, if I keep doing normal things, I will have paid for the camera that I would have in film. If that makes sense.
Yeah. You would have basically paid around 17, right?
Yeah, I paid 17
in developing.
After taxes, I paid $1,700 for this.
So let's say you paid, you took enough shots to pay about $1,600 worth of developing.
Well, no, if you buy the film and develop. So
that's what I mean, film and develop. Yeah.
I think I'm at like $1,400.
Okay.
That it would have saved me.
Right.
Now, obviously, it would be like, yeah, well, welcome to digital, dum dum. But it's like the point is I would be shooting film all those shots anyways.
Dum. Yeah. I know we wanted to use another word, but that's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, welcome to the digital world.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. But I mean, yeah, I understand what you mean, but I also get like the joy of the film, which is what you got me into, is like
Yeah.
buying the film, putting the film in it, and
Actually shooting the photos and not seeing them till later.
and then taking it to get developed somewhere. It's like, yeah, it does cost money in the long run, but it is nice to know that there's a camera that can achieve also that similar style. Maybe not 100%.
Yeah.
but
So
you can,
it would still never replace any film.
right.
Like, if I stopped shooting film, it would be because it genuinely got too expensive and maybe I'm, like, somewhere broke.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, it genuinely still isn't the same. Like, it's good enough, like, when I shoot the JPEGs, like, for your wedding photos, like, there was only, like, minor adjustments. And sometimes, depending, I think, if, like, the exposure is maybe, like, a stop or a stop and a half off with the X106.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not riding this camera like it was supposed to be the professional, you know?
Like the one and only.
Like, when I take it out, you see me, I don't even carry it in a bag.
No, you just
I
hold
just
it.
open carry it.
Yeah.
And that's how it's supposed to be. And if it does get the bumps and bruises, like obviously the first big one, I'm gonna be like, ah. But also it's gonna be like, this is what it was meant for.
Fuck.
Fuck me.
Fuck. You're like punching yourself in the head. Fuck.
But yeah, like that's what it's meant to be. It's like I'm literally gonna use this camera till it breaks down or till the next one comes out, and I go, I need the next one, and I sell this one. You know?
I need it.
Yeah.
You're like all dry and shriveled up. Fuck. Yeah, man. I mean, but it's fun. Like, I'm really thankful that you got me back into taking photos, especially film photos. Like, it's very fun.
Yeah. And it feels good when you're shooting on like something mechanical.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
It's a different feeling.
Like I should. I'm gonna make an effort to bring out my R5 more again. Cause I'm gonna start shooting it in like a different mode, not full manual anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But like something about like taking the photo and like you get to rack the film and like you feel like an obviously mechanical thing
Yeah.
in your hands, you know? Or like when I finally take out the Pentax for its made in San Diego voyage rather than test rolls, and obviously I took it to Yosemite.
Mm-hmm.
But like I look forward to that. But also again, just locked in saving money and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
like if I was gonna shoot anytime like if I went and shot this week, which I'm not going to probably because I work 5 days and I'm trying to pick up a sixth.
Yeah.
I'd probably shoot 35 mil. I think the next thing I would shoot is my Cinestill 800T since I have 2 rolls of it. I don't really shoot 800 that often.
Mm-hmm.
And like I do like the vibe of Cinestill, especially when you get like I don't like overly halation, but I like when it's like kind of present in the photo.
Yeah.
You're like, ooh.
Yeah, I still have
The
my
red is nice.
Cinestill roll. Right now, I think I'm like halfway through the Kodak. The 200 that I put in
Yeah,
there.
the Kodak Gold.
Yeah, I'm like halfway through it right now.
Oh, nice. What have you been shooting on it?
I took it to work because I really wanted to get that like. I had a cool idea of a shot where like someone's car lights is on, like illuminating the walls, like the light bouncing off the wall, and then the street light illuminating the corner.
Yeah.
But then getting like that angular shot, not straight on, but like angular, of the back door open with like all the cleaning shit outside, like closing up shop basically.
Yeah.
You know, like the sun is coming down and like you can still kind of see the light, but not really, you know?
Oh, that's sick.
And so I kind of wanted that feel of like end of the day restaurant life, closing
Yeah.
up shop, people are getting ready to leave, like that type of
And that's the
vibe.
cool thing about bringing a film camera like that. It's like it's never really offensive to anybody.
No, like I literally like I had it hidden in my trunk or whatever, and then when the time was right, I when I felt like the light was good or like the it was gonna be a cool shot in my brain, took it out, took 2 photos, put it back. Like
Yeah.
that was that, you know what I mean? But I had a
Just
vision
be careful
of what,
about leaving it.
That's the thing is,
heat.
yeah,
you shouldn't be doing like.
yeah,
I know I've told you before. But
You
I'm-
have, yeah.
But also, it's your camera, so it's like.
right.
But like.
Well, that's
heat,
that's the only time I've taken it out and like left it in the car like that.
Yeah.
But I refuse to take it out.
next time I would just leave
very
it
often.
in like the little office. Like no one's gonna take it or touch it.
No, but like in the locker, basically.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah.
Just I would avoid leaving it in the car because even though it probably wasn't too hot, it's still in the trunk, which still heats up in there.
Yeah.
Because the thing is what it's gonna do. It's gonna make the oils in the camera run.
Oh yeah.
And it could get to your electrical components, or like the oil could run down the blades itself. That's why like if you close the aperture, some people have like dirty blades.
Oh,
That's
gotcha.
not good, you know.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
then it moves elsewhere. But yeah,
Right.
just as like a.
Right.
I don't want you to break a thing you got a good deal on. That's why.
Yeah, no, I know.
Because I think F3s are kind of low key on like a little bit of an upswing as far as price wise. Mm-hmm. But
No,
that's cool.
dude, that was.
I'm excited to see those photos.
I was dope. I mean, I was excited to take those photos, and I think they're gonna turn out pretty good. But like I said, it's the only time I left it. You know, took it out with me and then left it in the car
I
like
wonder
that.
if it's going to be properly exposed or if it's going to be slightly muddy in the shadows, which that still can bring a certain vibe.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm
I don't
excited.
know, it's
I'm
just an
excited
idea.
what vibe it brings. Because I know Kodaks, when it's a little bit dark, they get kind of green in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
But like sometimes that adds for like the vibe. Because it could make it look more like a lo-fi vibe. You know what I mean?
Right. So I don't know. It was just like I just felt the time was right, and I was like, whipped the camera out, bam, bam, took 2 photos.
Mm-hmm.
One I know for a fact is like overexposed because I hit the I forgot what setting it was on, but the shutter took like 5 seconds to open up. Like it closed, it went.
Oh yeah, that's blurry as shit. Unless you had the most steady hands in the world.
No, dude. I know and I know that I moved.
Were you on aperture or were you actually setting your speeds?
No, I was just setting the top.
Like on top of the camera or like the one in front of the camera?
The one in front, sorry.
Oh, aperture.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I don't. That one is I don't know.
Well, that probably means you're on aperture, and it probably did. You probably opened and closed it down to like 11 or 16.
Something like that. Yeah.
So
I don't know. All I know is that it took a while to open back up, so it's gonna be blurry or whatever. I already know that one's botched, but the other one was cool.
So I know they don't recommend this, but what I would do next time if you did that shot, I'd probably shoot that at like 1.4, let as much light in as you can, and then just nail the focus. But even then, you're shooting 200, I'm assuming, during like, not blue hour, because blue hour's in the morning, but like late golden hour.
Yep.
I'm sure you could get away with that for like a 15th of a shutter maybe, but again, that's still super hard to handhold.
Yeah, no, it was, that one definitely, I know for a fact is messed
sometimes
up.
Photos don't even need to be like the technical good, you know what I mean? That's what's the cool thing about it. It's like, even if it is slightly blurry, it could still be a total vibe, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but who knows? We'll see when it gets developed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've been picking and choosing shots, you know, not letting it just like fly random.
Mm-hmm.
Like I took it to Mother's Day with my family before I went to work. I wanted to get, I got a good picture of my, you know, my little nephew with his dad, and then when I went this past weekend again, I got a good shot of my uncle sitting down and like eating, you know, like just minding his business. I just like, it just looked like a serene photo in the backyard, so I just snapped it real quick.
Yeah.
There's only one photo because I was too busy talking to people and like I wasn't thinking about taking photos, but
Yeah.
I did capture one little moment, so
Yeah, and that's the thing. If you took that like same photo on digital, it would just be like,
bam.
okay. But then you take it on film, it just looks a little more like, not relaxed, but like less high stakes, you know?
Yeah. And then when I went to drop my parents off at the car rental place by the airport, we were going to go through a restaurant in Barrio Logan called Cuatro Milpas.
Uh-huh.
And they have like hella stickers and like cool like old stickers on the door and on the walls and all that shit. It looks pretty cool juxtaposed to like the people waiting in line and everything, and it's kind of grungy outside.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted a shot of like both my parents standing in front of the main door with all the stickers on it.
Yeah.
And so I got a shot of them standing in front of the door, you know?
That's cool.
And it's like a nice like kind of like chest portrait style photo.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that one turns out pretty good because I wanted to catch them both like right before they went off on their trip, you know?
Yeah. That's
so
cool.
We'll see how that one turns
Again,
out
that's
too.
what's cool about it, is just documenting life. Like, you don't always, like, creative projects aren't always just have to be a thing, you know? Sometimes you could just shoot the stocks just as they
come.
I've been doing that less since I don't have a point and shoot film camera anymore.
Yeah.
But, like, again, the F3 is small enough to, like, just carry around. And,
That's why I really like it.
I just haven't been doing it lately. I don't know why.
Yeah. I've been having to remind myself like, oh, maybe you can find a shot today.
Oh, yeah.
If you take it out, you know?
Oh,
and
yeah,
so like
yeah.
getting myself into that mode of like, oh, not like obsessively looking for a shot, but just like having it on me and like knowing that like if I see something that intrigues my eye, that I have the opportunity or the chance there to like choose to either take the photo or not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Even when I'm going to job sites, that one I'll put it in like a little bag, my X106, and like if I see something random at a job site, I'll take a
Just
photo.
bam,
you know?
snap it real quick.
And if it's bad, it's bad. If it's not, it's not. You know.
You never know.
Like chances are, most of your photos are going to be bad, but that's totally fine because, again, it's like getting your reps in. You know.
Yeah, getting your reps in. That's so true. Yeah. Damn. So yeah, we're at an hour and 4 minutes.
You ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, that was a good ass episode.
Put a bow on that bitch.
Yeah. Well, thanks for listening. If you made it this far, yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. You crazy fucks. Thanks for listening.
All right, you guys have a good one. Enjoy your work week.
Yeah, enjoy the work week. We'll see you later, friends.